Crappers. It's your old buddy, your old pal, R.D. Reynolds here once again with Wrestle Crap Radio. And as always, on the other end of the tin cannon string is the Calgary to my Alberta, Canada, Mr. Blade Braxton.
What's going on, Deal? Such a big show this week that you decided to bring the fake Jazz Overnight Blade out of the mothballs.
Well, we wanted to make sure that we had as much clarity, and we didn't have a lot of times when you do this show and you use the blade that literally sounds like the drunken hobo on the other end of the tin cannon string, sometimes there's confusion. And there's echoing and all kinds of weird stuff. And I didn't want any of that to interfere with the big show we have on tap this week.
So you prefer the Jazz Overnight Blade, like I am now?
We'll get drunken hobo Blade back on next week. But what a show we have this week. You know, sometimes there are people out there that have the temerity to claim that we don't talk enough about pro wrestling on this here program.
The gall of some people.
I don't know how people can live with themselves saying such a thing. But there won't be that on this week's show. No way. No. Because we have on tap, oh yes, we have none other than former ECW, WCW, and WWE superstar Lance Storm going to be joining us right here at WrestleCrap Radio. You're speechless. Hello.
I thought we were going into that there. Right here, on the other end of the tin can string.
Lance Storm. Lance Storm going to be here.
Yeah, we didn't offend him last week, did we? Is he actually going to be here?
I talked to him a little bit earlier. He's looking forward to doing this here show.
Are you going to ask him the question you've been dying to know for years?
Well, if he has a giant dong?
Yeah.
I'm sure it will come up.
You think he's gonna get that excited talking to us?
You know, somebody that always gets excited talking to us.
Who?
Lord Alfred, if you please.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
What a show we have here for you this week with Lance Storm and everything, and we couldn't do it without our dueling sponsors. GlobalInternet.net, best web host in the entire known universe.
Dueling sponsors? What are they, shooting at each other with square dots like those two guys in the Atari 2600 Outlaw?
You think Lance Storm ever played Outlaw on the 2600? That's what we should ask him, what his favorite Atari 2600 game is.
Well, I'm sure. Judging by the big dong, I don't think he needed to use an outlaw gun when he did his shooting.
Kids, if you want to shoot with a big gun, like Lance Storm did, GlobalInternet.net. And something else that may help you shoot with a big gun. Lord Alfred, if you please.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Another sponsor of this here radio program is the fine folks at AngryMarks.com. Kids, are you tired of Vince Russo? Are you pissed off at Vince McMahon? Are you looking for a reason to punch a Vincent the manservant square in the testicles? We should ask. That's another question. We should ask. Those should have been the first three questions we asked Lance Storm.
What's that?
Tired of Vince Russo? Are you pissed off at Vince McMahon? Have you ever, Lance? I'm just getting ready for this now. Lance, have you ever just wanted to punch Vincent the manservant right in the testicles?
Do you want him to actually do the interview with us, or do you want it to be a 5-second
interview? Yeah, we probably better not. But if you are of that ilk, you should head on over to angrymarks.com. They hate all men named Vince. For all the latest pro wrestling news, Ring of Honor DVD reviews, free Lucha Libre and wrestling podcast, plus an RSS news feed that's your own personal facts-trolla, visit angrymarks.com. Proud sponsors of WrestleCrap Radio.
Don't make me angry, angrymarks.com. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Boy, oh boy, I am just so excited. Are you ready to get Lance on here?
I'm ready.
Now, don't say anything dumb.
Oh, yeah.
Says the man who wants to ask him about his giant dong.
I'll be on my best behavior.
Let's get Mr. Storm on right now. And fellow crappers, we are joined on the phone. If we can be serious for a moment, we'd like to introduce our guest. From Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Mr. Lance Storm.
That was one of the longest dramatic pauses I've ever heard.
Oh, man. Well, Lance, thanks so much for being on the show with us. We really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys.
And then there you have it. How on earth could anyone ever book that man as being boring?
Oh, he was great, man. He was hilarious.
I mean, that is, again, it just kind of baffles my mind. You can have somebody on like that, that we talked to for like an hour and 10 minutes, okay? Wildly entertaining, and yet, whenever they're in the business, when you're in the business, they can't find anything for this man to do.
WWE must have a license to not print money.
They have a reverse counterfeit machine. It prints dollars that are like inverted or something.
That license expired.
Their dollars, they'll have a $100 bill, but it has a little minus sign in front of it. But what a great show. That was a lot of fun, and I hope everybody really enjoyed this interview. I know we did. Next week we will be back.
It'll be as fun as a barrel of big boring penises.